This is a third stimulus check update. Have some great news to share with you in this video. Some more important details have been released in regards to who is eligible for the third $1,400 stimulus check with income eligibility as well as adult dependents. And for the $300 per month tax child credit, there's been more details released with that, who's eligible and exactly when it'll start. And if you've lost any relatives due to COVID, you could be eligible for up to $7,000 in funeral cost reimbursement. I'll play you some clips from both Democrats and Republicans, then I'll answer the questions you leave for me in the comments. I hope you're having a great day so far. If you appreciate these fact-based, fast-paced updates, then hit the like button down below. This way YouTube could share this video with more people. So I want to get your opinion on this first. US billionaires could give $3,400 stimulus checks to 331 million Americans using only their increase in wealth since March 2020. So since the pandemic has started, 660 billionaires living in the US have increased their net worth by $1.1 trillion, while the rest of Americans are just fighting over scraps. Now, some people are saying there should be a tax on them and use that money to help out struggling Americans. Let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. Should these billionaires be taxed for their recent gains or leave the billionaires alone? Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. Let's talk about the good news first. So the House Democrats have already figured out the plan for the income eligibility of the $1,400 stimulus checks. The House and Ways Means Chairman Richard Neal released legislation last night talking about how individuals earning $75,000 per year and couples earning $150,000 a year will get that full $1,400 stimulus check amount. There's been a lot of numbers being thrown around over the past week saying $50,000 cutoff, $60,000 cutoff, but it will stay the same. But in terms of higher income to get the full amount, those numbers change. I'll let you know what those numbers are as well as adult dependent information. But first, here is a clip of Nancy Pelosi giving the latest update.
What I'm proud of is what we are doing. And the fact is that in all four of the bills that have passed before, they've all been bipartisan. And we've all, in our caucus, have agreed that everything is coronavirus centric and also in a timely way that relates to the virus. It's too deadly to our lives, to our livelihood, to our democracy for us to use it for any other purpose. So when the money for state and local, it's to allay the cost of the, defray the cost of the outlays they've made for coronavirus and the revenue lost because of the coronavirus. Testing with three pillars. Honor our heroes by supporting our state and local entities so that they don't lose their jobs, these heroes don't lose their jobs. Open up government by testing, tracing, treatment, etc. And the third is putting money in the pockets of the American people. All of it timed and centric to the coronavirus.
So what's happening now with the big stimulus package is that it's divided into different committees, and each committee is going to be releasing new legislation basically on a day-to-day basis regarding what's happening with the stimulus package. So subscribe to the channel if you want the latest of what's coming out on a day-to-day basis. More on the $1,400 stimulus check. So eligible households would be able to receive up to $1,400 per person, including for adult dependents. Now, this is great news. I'm really happy about this. That is, adult dependents will receive that $1,400 stimulus check. They said it in the past. We weren't sure. It wasn't completely confirmed, but now it is confirmed. Adult dependents, SSI, SSDI, VA, RRB, whichever category you're in, if you were claimed as an adult dependent, college student, senior citizen, you will receive that $1,400 stimulus check. So I'm really happy about that. That's great news. Also, the bill directs the Treasury Department to issue payments to people based on their 2019 or 2020 tax returns. Now, what this is really important. If you made less money in 2020, ideally, if you're above that $75,000 income threshold, if you're below, it doesn't really matter. But if you made less in 2020, less than $75,000, you want to submit your tax returns as soon as possible, which will be February 12th. This way they could use that information in regards to giving you the $1,400 stimulus check. Also, the department is going to make payments to non-filers based on the information available to it. So if you're a non-filer and you got your first and second stimulus check and the IRS has your information, there's no additional action needed. They'll just send you this third $1,400 stimulus check. And this round of stimulus checks is going to cost $422 billion. Now, in terms of the higher end of eligibility, they're going to cut it off for families making more than $200,000 and singles making $100,000. So this is kind of what we heard before. So any individual making more than $100,000 will get zero stimulus check at all. It won't phase out. And same thing for married couples of $200,000. They'll get zero stimulus check money after that. So let me know what you think about the newest details regarding the $1,400 stimulus check. Are you happy with these income eligibility levels? Are you happy that adult dependents are now getting the $1,400 stimulus check? Let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments below. Moving on, there could be up to $7,000 reimbursement for COVID-19 funerals. So if you have a relative who passed away because of COVID, you could be eligible for up to $7,000. Here is Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer talking more about this plan.
So, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez and I resolved we were going to try to get this done legislatively. And in the December COVID bill that passed, there is $2 billion, I am happy to say, to help people who are victims of COVID and don't have the dollars on their own to pay for the funeral and burial of loved ones. We estimate over $200 million of that will go to New York, much of it to epicenters of the coronavirus crisis like Corona, which we both represent. So that is the good news. But we are here today not just to spread the good news, but we must make sure that the money gets out. So first, we are letting people know that this has happened. And if you are a family who couldn't afford or had to just stretch and went without rent or went without food or anything else, so you might give your loved one a decent funeral and burial, you can get reimbursed for up to $7,000 from FEMA, which, as I said, has done this in the past, but we are now legally requiring to do it. And we are going to make sure that that happens. Together, we are going to make sure that FEMA implements this well, that it is done in a way that's easy for families to apply and get the dollars. And there are 4 steps that we're just alerting people that need to happen, and then we're going to make sure it does happen.
At this point, we don't know exactly who is eligible for this and how you can apply, but Chuck Schumer did say that they will start a hotline soon to give more information on it. As soon as I find out, I'll let you know. Moving on, Democrats want to give the $3,600 per child tax credit in the new COVID bill. New legislation has been released on this. This is also the $300 per month child tax credit. So they're going to break it down into monthly payments. So if you have any kids, grandkids, or know anybody with kids, this information is really beneficial because it's basically almost more than 2 stimulus checks per year that you're going to get with this. And this is a permanent change. This isn't just for the pandemic. So the latest information we found out about this is that the payments will start from July through December. And this could be up between $250 if you have any kids between 6 to 17. And then any kids under 6, you'll get $300 per kid. And basically, to give an example, let's say you have a family of 5 with children ages 14, 11, and 5, you could get up to $4,800 per year, which would be dispersed in monthly payments. So this could be huge for families, and they really want to dramatically cut the child poverty rate. So I think this is a great idea. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. Could you benefit from this? Is this a good price? It's basically changing from the $2,000 per year. Now it's going to be $3,000 and $3,600 per year, but broken up into monthly payments. So as I mentioned, this will start in July. Moving on, Pat Toomey, one of the biggest critics for the stimulus checks and stimulus package, is saying that the economy is roaring back and we don't need another stimulus package. So on this channel, I love to provide you different perspectives. Personally, I'm an independent, and I think it's important to see both sides. I know that I've been reporting a lot about Democrats just because Democrats have been making the news lately with passing this next stimulus package, but I think it's important to have balance and hear the other side too and what Republicans are saying. Now, just to preface this, Pat Toomey has been staunchly against stimulus checks and stimulus package ever since the beginning, so his point of view is a little different than other Republicans, but here's that clip right now.
Toomey from the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Senator, good to have you as always. You just heard Secretary Yellen make her case for why almost $2 trillion in coronavirus relief is necessary. You disagree. Why is she wrong?
Well, there are an awful lot of reasons, Jake, and let's remember, I mean, I have a lot of respect for Secretary Yellen. She's a very, very capable, talented person, but she is not the leader of the independent Federal Reserve anymore. She is now the Treasury Secretary, and as such, her job is to be the biggest cheerleader for whatever economic policy President Biden wants. The problem with this is, Jake, 42 days ago, we passed the fifth huge bill, another $1 trillion, bringing the total to over $4 trillion. Much of that money, huge amount of that money, is not even out the door yet. Much of it was way too broad and not sufficiently targeted as it was. All of these bills were passed with big bipartisan votes. The biggest of them, the CARES Act from March, over $2 trillion, not a single no vote in the entire Senate. So here we are. The economy has come roaring back. The unemployment rate is less than half what it was. Disposable income is at record highs. Savings rates are at record highs. And where we have problems is very concentrated, Jake. It's not an economy in collapse the way it was in March. Today, we have serious problems for workers in the restaurant, the hospitality, the travel and entertainment sectors. That's really a handful of places, and if those folks have fallen through the cracks of the trillions of dollars we've already spent that's been meant to help them, then let's have a conversation about how to help those folks. But nobody's making that case. What you hear is these broad generalities about, well, people are suffering, so let's spend another $2 trillion. It's not the right solution. Larry Summers is a liberal Democrat who's a Keynesian in favor of big government spending, and he's said this is way too much. So there's a lot of reasons. We could go through line by line.
Right. But let me ask,
much money has already been allocated for these things.
So let me ask you, I mean, you talk about how the economy is improved, and the economy is improved, but the U.S. is still down almost 10 million jobs since the pandemic began a year ago. Job growth is crawling. We just got the jobs report, only 49,000 jobs added in January. I mean, that's really bad, with 400,000 Americans taking themselves out of even looking for jobs. 24 million Americans don't have enough to eat. The CBO says it's going to take until 2024 to fully recover without sizable relief. How do you explain your opposition given those facts about millions of struggling Americans?
So all of those things, I mean, we've allocated money for these purposes. And by the way, CBO is projecting that we'll have almost 5% growth next year if we don't do an additional bill. We have tens of billions of dollars that hasn't made it out the door yet because the ink's hardly dry on the last bill. So this is just what this is it's clear, in addition to the very hard left executive orders, it's clear, unfortunately, from my point of view, that while President Biden has given some great speeches about unity, he's governing from the hard left. This is a list of liberal Democrat wish lists for massive spending and don't let a crisis go to waste. People remember that we did have an economic crisis, and so try to load up as much spending as possible.
Let me know your thoughts on Pat Toomey's view on stimulus package and stimulus checks. Is it too harsh? Do you find any truth in it? Do you agree with anything he's saying or completely disagree and that everyone should get the stimulus check? Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. Next, I'm going to answer the questions you leave for me in the comments. Bobby Rockwell asks, I don't understand why the government is not in session at least 3 weeks every month. How do they get anything done? Who is in charge? Who can change the work schedule of all the government? That is a great question. And I've been asking that since the beginning. If you look at their vacation schedule, it seems every month they're getting at least 1 week of vacation, and they're pretty much the ones in charge of their schedule, so I doubt they're going to change it. But yeah, it's really messed up. I wish they could change it. Next question. Teresa Coles asks, will SSI dependent get one? Yes. So if you're on SSI, SSDI, if you are claimed as an adult dependent, even if you don't know who claimed you, you will get this $1,400 stimulus check. Great news there. James Butts asks, adult dependents getting the $1,400? Yes. Yes, they will. And if you want me to answer your questions, just type the word question and ask your question down in the comments below. That is all the stimulus news I have for you today. To brighten your day a bit, here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Oh, hi guys. Hi guys, this is Bella. This is the tip of the day. I want to tell you the one thing you should do. Remember when you were a kid, you always used your imagination in your mind. why it's called imagination. Imagining what you're thinking about. And remember that when you were a kid, you use your imagination for like anything, like movies. You watch the movies, you imaginate yourself with it. You may sometimes when you're watching cool movies, use your imagination to do the same thing if you want. And also, can I tell you something? I watched a movie and now I'm all about it. And now I'm a Ghostbuster. Like this one you shoot out light and it makes the ghost disappear. And this one you tap it like this and it makes you disappear. Make the ghost disappear. So that's all I wanted to tell you. Bye.
If you procrastinate on getting things done, like myself, I'm a huge procrastinator. I'm really bad with that. But if you click this video over here on my Wise Vibes channel, I just published it. It talks about ways of how to break the habit of procrastination and get the things done that you've always wanted to get done. So click that video now if you want to make things happen in your life, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.